I begin with an article I happened to read this past week. Why I was reading this article, I have no idea. But it was an article from a magazine called The Desert Wings. It was the magazine or newspaper of California's Edwards Air Force bases. And it explained that in 1949, a Captain Edward Murphy, an engineer, was working to determine how much deceleration a person could stand following a crash. I know, it's very exciting. Now, one day, after finding a wiring mishap and expressing a few profanities, he screamed at a technician responsible, "If there is any way to do it wrong, you will find it." While the phrase has been around for years, shortly afterwards, an Air Force doctor named Dr. John Paul Stapp gave a press conference following a test of this Captain Murphy's research. He said that the project's good safety record was due to the firm belief in if there was any way to do it wrong, he'll find it, otherwise known as Murphy's Law, and the necessity to try and circumvent it. Since Murphy's Law's introduction, many corollaries have spawned from it, including left to themselves, things tend to go from bad to worse. Nature always sides with the hidden flaw. Smile, tomorrow will be worse. And it is impossible to make anything foolproof because fools are so inventive. And in nature, nothing is ever right. Therefore, if everything is going right, something is wrong. Now, each of these adages expresses the ultimate pessimist's motto. Yet more than defeatism, these rules demonstrate the existence of laws, unspoken rules that govern our society beyond civic mandates. I comment upon unwritten rules this week because of the bravery that 4 chaplains exhibited 70 years ago last Sunday, February 3rd. Now, it marked the anniversary of the USAT Dorchester sinking en route to Greenland. Yet beyond the tragedy contains a story of inspiration, of hope, and of goodwill. The ship's mission was to transfer over 900 Army servicemen, who would then ultimately head to battle on European soil, to the American base on the island. Yet on this fateful day, only 100 miles from their destination, a German U-boat torpedoed the ship. Now, the damage was so devastating that in less than 20 minutes, the icy waters of the Atlantic Ocean would engulf this ship. Now, following the strike and the rapid sinking, pandemonium ensued on the deck. While only a little over 200 survived the Dorchester sinking, eyewitness accounts of the situation explain that in the midst of this chaos, 4 chaplains, Father John Washington, a Catholic priest, Reverend Clark Poling, a Dutch Reformed minister, Reverend George Fox of the Methodist Church, and Rabbi Alexander Good became the beacon of hope when surrounded by despair. They brought comfort to the frightened, healing to the sick, and guidance to those confused. They distributed life jackets to the soldiers, and when there were no more, each of them took off their own life jacket to give to another so that those individuals had a chance to survive. They preached courage in the face of uncertainty. They offered prayers to those at death's door, and they encouraged those who were destined to live. In the final moments, it is said that these 4 chaplains were seen standing together, praying in English, in Latin, and in Hebrew for all to hear. Instead of being blinded by difference, instead of looking to survive, instead of giving up on hope, these 4 chaplains of different faiths together were inspired by an unspoken rule to help their fellow man, no matter the stakes, in the face of great peril. Now, placed immediately following last week's unveiling of the 10 Commandments, this week's Torah portion, Mishpatim, meaning rules, contains 53 of the 613 commandments designed to govern the Israelites and the priest. Now, many of the specific rules found in Mishpatim link to the broader categories of the original 10, including laws in relation to treating one's servants, laws outlining how to treat one's parents, laws expressing the consequences when responsible for injuring someone else, laws against cursing judges and political leaders, and laws emphasizing our obligation to protect the stranger, the widow, and the orphan. Now, what's fascinating about these laws, which helped to shape this nation following the Israelites' redemption from Egypt, is that their governance, rather than the imposition of rights, policies, and processes, are realized when they monitor their behavior toward the other. So rather than an unspoken rule, our text challenges the Israelites and us to make aspects such as treating others with respect, conducting business affairs with goodwill, and protecting others the foundation of law. Now, returning to Murphy's Law, while it might be a pessimist charge, it centers upon the existence of unwritten rules that govern society and our relationships. Now, one can find them in the spheres of dating, business, and for the sports enthusiast, even in the locker room. Yet when unspoken rules that encourage kindness, compassion, and generosity remain undeclared, rather than actual spoken foundations of our law, we limit our ability to better our lives, each other's lives, and our world. Instead, no matter our differences, we honor the four chaplains' legacy today and moving forward by emulating their ability to transfer those unspoken rules in real action, offering the light needed when darkness falls, being beacons of hope for our community and our world, together sharing the promise of peace. So too can we. Shabbat Shalom.